Hey guys, it's Brianna here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I want to first quickly apologize for two things. First up, I think I am coming down with a sinus infection, something. I know I'm battling my allergies and I don't really know what's going on. Usually around this time of year is when my allergies really start to act up, and it usually leads to a sinus infection because my body just cannot handle everything happening. So I apologize if my voice sounds very strange or if I clear my throat a lot. All of that. I just want to quickly apologize for that. Also, I apologize. I really haven't made any content since I announced I was coming back. I've been kind of struggling with what I wanted to post. Like, I had a vlog ready to go for a readathon I participated in. Like, I had it ready to go. I was ready to edit. And then it was like content block. Like, I just didn't want to create anything. I was like, you know what? I want to make some booktube videos, but I don't know what to do. And then, the start of the school year happened, and it's been already a roller coaster. So I don't want to talk about that because y'all are not here for that. Y'all are here for me to talk about the very first dark romances I've read. I have been reading consistently since 2013, and I've been reading romances since 2014, 2015. I can't remember exactly when it started, but it was around that time. And then it wasn't until I'd have to double check when I read these books, because these are obviously some, as we call it, which is insane, like old school dark romances at this point, because they've been around for so long, which I don't even want to think about how long these have been around. But anyway, this kind of says a lot about who I am as a reader and kind of how my tastes have changed, which I find very interesting. So let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, first up, I have literally one of my all-time favorite series. I never shut up about this series. Anytime everybody's like, give me a dark recommendation, I got you. Hades Hangman. This is book 1 in the series. It Ain't Me Babe by Tilly Cole. Y'all don't even know my love for Tilly Cole. She writes on two spectrums, in my opinion. She writes extremely dark content, or like rip your heart out. Like, I'm talking like why would you do that to me? Like, there is no middle ground with her. She's writing on opposite ends of the spectrum, and like, I commend her for it, because her books are seriously not for everyone. And please, just as like a side note, y'all, please do your research. If you do have triggers, please research these books, because in my personal opinion, every dark romance book out there has some type of trigger. And if you have any particular triggers, please go look them up. Usually authors are really good about listing explicitly all of their triggers, so definitely look there. Look at Goodreads. A lot of people post the triggers in detail. That's another great place to look. I try to list out triggers, but since I've read these books so long ago, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head like every single one. Anyway, so this is obviously a motorcycle club based in Austin, Texas, which is absolutely insane. I don't live in Austin, I actually live in the Dallas area. Anyway, the reason why it makes this so dark is because not only do we follow a 1% motorcycle club. Now, if you don't know what that means, it basically means a 1% motorcycle club is one that does not follow the law. They are notorious for breaking laws. They're usually involved in some illegal activity, drugs, trafficking, what have you. Something that they're doing is against the law, and that's why they're a 1% club, because they're not like every other motorcycle club that you see on the streets, just roaming around. No. You don't want to cross any of these guys, because they might kill you. But anyway, this follows Styx, who is the president of the club. What makes this really interesting and unique from every other like biker romance I've read, and I've read many, is he's actually mute. Like, he communicates with sign language. And in the motorcycle world, especially when you're talking about a 1% club, you cannot have like any, what they call it, like deformities or things that might hold you back from being this like alpha, like scary guy. But Kai, the vice president, he's actually book 2, and in my personal opinion is my favorite book. I adore Kai. He actually helps like communicate. He translates. They're best friends, and it just, Y'all don't even know. Okay, so not only is this a 1% club, the thing I also forgot to mention is it does follow a cult. We have May, who just escaped from this cult, and there's some really gross things happening in that cult. This follows as the females kind of leave the cult and how they transition back into being in the real world, because when you're in that cult, you have no sense of reality. It is the weirdest, creepiest thing ever. But y'all, this series, so freaking good. In my personal opinion, it does get darker as the books go on, especially when you get to Flame's book 3. Just take my warning, because his story is extremely traumatic, and there's a reason why they are such dark characters and why they join these motorcycle clubs. Okay, second book is Undeniable by Madeline Sheehan. This is another like OG biker series. It's been so long since I've read this book, so a lot of like the minor details I've forgotten, but this follows Ava and Deuce. Now, this one is a slow burn romance because they meet when Ava is a really young girl. I don't want to say like, a child, but she's definitely a teenager. I want to say when they meet, she's like 15 or so. So she's very young. I don't remember anything happening, but it's one of those like slow builds. She's definitely attracted to him, and Deuce is like, yeah, no, you are the president's daughter. Yeah, no. So they kind of fight each other's feelings for a very long time, and then it becomes literally, as the title says, undeniable. And I just loved their connection and the story. I would say that this isn't as dark as Hades Hangman. It is dark. I mean, obviously, it's a dark romance. If I remember correctly, I can't speak. This is also a 1% motorcycle club. Pretty much every single motorcycle club book that I have read usually follows a 1% club. It's not very often, at least that I have seen. I haven't read a motorcycle club book in a while, at least over a year. I just kind of fell out of it, and other things have been catching my attention. But predominantly what I have read have been 1% clubs, just because of that aspect that it brings. So just kind of know that this is a slow burn. Each book does follow a different couple. I believe there's only 5 books. The author has been hinting that there's supposed to be more books, and it's been like, I don't even know how long, and we have yet to get a book. So at this point, if she finishes the series, that's great. But one of my all-time favorite series, I do think about it pretty frequently. Another series that I never shut up about is the 9 Minutes trilogy by Beth Flynn. I adore this lady to absolute pieces. This is another unique biker romance series because it's set in Florida. Now, not only that, but it's actually set in the 70s. Now, I just think that that brought a really cool element, because I really like the, like the style of the 70s. And you're in Florida, so obviously there's gators everywhere. But this one is another age gap. We follow Guinea, who I think at the beginning of the book is also 15, and we have Grizz. I love him. He's one of my book boyfriends. I just love him. He's literally like a teddy bear, but he will he'll mess you up if he needs to. This literally depicts how he looks. He's a very buff, just burly kind of man. I don't know how to describe him. But anyway, yeah, on the back it says that she's 15. She gets abducted from a convenience store, and then Grizz pops in, and the rest is history. So she basically just stays at the compound? It's been so long since I've read the series. And she kind of gets to know all the other members, other people that they have kind of just taken in to kind of help protect. And this is another pretty dark series, especially the further you go into the series. They are really trying to make this work because, like I said, there is an age gap. She was basically taken captive. So, obviously her parents are like, where did you go? Police are involved, all of that stuff. But the series is so good. Again, it's been years since I've read it, but it is one I think about nonstop because I just it's one of those that for me has always stuck with me because I guess it was just the time that I read it. Like, I legit could not put it down. And it was at the time when book 3 wasn't out, and I was seriously freaking out. I was messaging Beth being like, can I have book 3 now? Like, please. But I love her. The very last book, and in my opinion, probably one of the more well-known dark romances out there, is going to be the King series by T.M. Frazier. Y'all, this series is so good. It lives up to the hype. Like, you can't go wrong with T.M. Frazier as well. She's another really great dark romance author. And it, again, until you get to, there's 3 main characters in this plot line because it has expanded since. So we have King, obviously, and he has like 2 other best friends that they literally are like the kings of, I don't even remember where this is based, honestly. I forget because it's been so long. But you don't want to mess with them. Like, you mess with one, you're getting all 3. Like, they ain't playing. So we have Bear, who is like, because they're set in duologies, except for the next character I'll mention. So King has his book, and the second book is called Tyrant, which is still on my bookshelf. And then you have Bear, and for some reason I always get the order of his books switched every single time, but it's Lawless and Soulless. He is a biker, so that's why there's like a tie-in to the motorcycle club world, because he is a biker. King is not. He's just a very, like, don't mess with him kind of person, because he'll kill you. And then you have legit my favorite character of all time. I love this man. He is so dark and twisted. The other man is Preppy. I love that man. Him and his pancakes and his little bow tie. He is like the most like dapper person, and he looks like one of those like sweet and innocent type characters, and that's where he gets you. He has, in my opinion, he has one of the most twisted stories of all 3 characters. And I think that's what adds to his character, because you see him, especially in King, he just seems like this funny, go-lucky, happy character. He's always talking about pancakes and the little bow ties he wears. And then you get to his story, and then you find out exactly what happened to him in his past, and you're like, oh my God. Y'all don't even know my love for Preppy. I love him. So anyway, so in King, we follow Jane Doe. Now, there's a reason why she's called Doe, is because she's literally homeless. Like, she doesn't remember who she is. Something tragic happens to her where she literally forgets everything about her. She like wakes up and she has no recollection of what her name is. She knows nothing, and King basically steps in and is like, hey, you know, I'll take care of you, you know, that kind of stuff. But not only that, King just got released from prison. So like I said, he's obviously a dark character, because I warned you. Things start to happen, and she finally starts to kind of remember who she was, and there's probably a reason why she shouldn't remember who she is. There's a reason, like, her mind has kind of like blocked it out of her memory and has chose to not remember anything. Like I said, it's been so long since I've read these that a lot of those details are completely gone, because it's been like at least, I don't know, 6 years since I've read these. But y'all, I'm not joking when I say, if anybody asks me for like my OG dark romance favorites, these are it, because I love these books so freaking much. They are some of the like best books in my opinion, because I never shut up about them. But yeah, so I am hosting a challenge, I guess, of sorts, that I'm collaborating with some of my friends on Bookstagram. I asked if they would join and help me host this challenge of sorts, and we're basically going to be sharing recommendations up until Halloween for the spooky season. I have been thinking about this legit for weeks, if not months, because I have been very excited for Halloween and just reading dark romance books, because it's my most read genre. So I am going to be bringing you every Monday a different recommendation. Let me show you guys who, or I guess what the prompt is next week, and I'll kind of go through, you know, all the different prompts. So I'll kind of just go down the list of our different prompts that we have. So next Monday is going to be psychopaths / stalkers / serial killers. We just decided to lump them all into one category. The following week on the 19th, we have dark reverse harems / wide shoes. romances. On the 26th, we have captive or like kidnapped type romances. On the 3rd of October, we have mafia. On the 10th, we have paranormal slash monsters, you know, those kinds of romances. On the 17th, we have favorite dark romance characters. So these can be anybody within the dark romance world. On the 24th, we have, now this one is quite the title, we have spooky vibes slash gothic slash asylum slash institution, like slash the school setting. So any of those that really have those like spooky vibes to them, that'll be what that one is for. And then on Halloween, which follows on a Monday, is going to be top 5 dark romances. So I am super excited to be co-hosting these with some of my friends from Brookstagram. Definitely check out my Bookstagram because I have a little highlight on my highlights page, or like my front page or whatever, that I'll be sharing everybody's posts from, and I'll say like, you know, week 1 first dark romances, which is very interesting. I've already seen some of the things that we have read as our first dark romances. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what your first dark romance is. I'm very curious, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.